Each month, I'm going to walk you through my world of hackers, insiders, and government, working on the front lines of cybersecurity and public safety to protect the systems you rely upon every day.
If you think that the small-town water authorities and the mom-and-pop-sized companies have better cybersecurity in the U.S. than the Israelis do, I have really bad news for you.
An attack on our critical infrastructure, the degradation to the point that they can no longer support us, means that we go back to the Stone Age literally overnight.
If we think the government's going to solve it for us, we're wrong. We have to help them.
This is not a podcast for the faint of heart. If you want to meet those protecting the world and what problems keep them up at night, then this is the podcast for you. I'm Bryson Bort, and this is Hack the Plant. For today's episode, I'm joined by David Coher, leader of Southern California Edison's Energy Contract Management Team, which manages their long-term energy procurement contracts, approximately $4 billion annually. David is an attorney who moved from real estate litigation to Southern California Edison, where he established programs for cybersecurity, participation in California's greenhouse gas emissions cap and trade market, and Dodd-Frank compliance. We discussed how the power grid works and the changing landscape of keeping our energy grids safe from cyber attacks.
It's really quite incredible when you consider all of the millions of similar transactions that are occurring simultaneously. The thing is that when you see these things in the movies, and I know you know this and most of your listeners are probably aware of this, it's not something where you just push one button and the whole thing turns off. It's not about guarding this one red button on one control panel on the proverbial Homer Simpson type screen, right? It's much more complicated than that, which I say partially to indicate of how tough the job is, but the flip side of that is also that that's a great opportunity, right? Because that means that there's plenty of redundancy and plenty of resiliency in the system, and that's the part that gives me greater hope.
We also explored the challenges of establishing a regulatory compliance program. In particular, how to anticipate cybersecurity threats.
It's not just an N-1, right? Normal with one thing going wrong, but thinking N-2, N-3, right? What happens if we have a series of wildfires and that limits which lines we can have operational? And we're in the middle of a global pandemic, so we're limited in our ability to interact physically. It used to be when you tried to get creative, right? Some of the scenarios you would dream up, people would roll their eyes. This could never happen. This could never be, right? Maybe one silver lining out of the COVID pandemic has been that people are more open to more creativity in this role playing, because they have a greater appreciation of, some crazy things really can happen, and they can come together and all happen at once.
What is next for SCE? What are some potential opportunities and threats on the horizon for the safety of our electric grid? Join us to learn more. Disclaimer: the opinions expressed by David Coher are his own and do not necessarily represent the positions, strategies, or opinions of Southern California Edison, its parent company Edison International, or any of their affiliates.
My name is David Coher, and I am an attorney by training and kind of accidentally cybersecurity attorney. I worked for Southern California Edison for about a decade in the cybersecurity space, initially in the law department, where I was supporting the implementation of the NERC regulations, NERC meaning the North American Electric Reliability Council. NERC is an industry trade group that has a unique relationship with FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, whereby NERC, that industry trade group, gets to establish the regulations for cybersecurity.